we're going to give out a few awards right now, and I wanted Peggy Chain to come up here.
Okay, the first award goes to Tracy Gore. She was chair of the Greater Los Angeles Development for Amnesty International, and she's been a longtime supporter of the Visual Artists Guild and countless other human rights organizations.
Hi, I just want to say that over 40 years ago, my father was very ill, and he decided he needed to go to Washington, D.C. His doctor said, don't go. You have a heart condition. He says, I must go. He wasn't going to speak or to be recognized. He was going to be part of a movement. It was a very important thing to him. He said, I have to show solidarity. Didn't know that so many other thousands would be there. 20 years ago in Tiananmen, a group of students, such brave young people, they said, we're here, we're at Tiananmen. They were joined by farmers, by people of all social strata. They were joined because they saw other people who saw that there was injustice and that their rights needed to be acknowledged.
Okay, James Zimmerman. He's a China country specialist for Amnesty International, where he continues to work for the release of prisoners of conscience.
Thank you. This is really impressive. I just want to say that I've been doing programs almost every year. I've done quite a few here in Los Angeles. And I know that Amnesty International, we have several members here today, and Tracy, we're going to continue to work for the release of the Tiananmen prisoners. We're going to continue to work for a free internet so that the people in China and the younger generation in China, which knows nothing about it, will learn what happened 20 years ago. And I don't know when we'll succeed, but I'm sure we will someday succeed. Thank you.
Brother Peter Chow was arrested in 1955 after refusing to join the Chinese Communist Party Church. He spent 26 years in prison, and he composed over 100 poems while in captivity, memorizing all of them. You can read more about this in his autobiography, Dawn Breaks in the East, A Time Revisited. Brother Peter Chow.
Brother Peter, can you show us your arm? While he was in prison, he was tortured with shackles, and they tried to stop him from writing books. And while he was in the 26 years of prison, he memorized all the poems in his brain, and when he got out of prison, he put a little pencil in there and started writing. So congratulations.
And now, Father Gerard O'Brien. He's the pastor of Pasadena's Assumption Blessed Virgin Mary Church, and he's very vocal about the persecution of the church in China, and was active in protesting the Beijing float in the 2008 Rose Parade, and put out a fabulous banner saying so.
It's an honor to be here. I'm an Irishman and miles away from China, but definitely Brother Peter there inspired me. His writing, his poems, and his great mission for the people. And I stand for all Catholics and Christians and people of all faith who suffer their faith and freedom in China today. God bless.
May 1989. Dear Bibi, here I am sitting in a tent on Chang'an Avenue in Tiananmen Square. Do you know what this means? It means the avenue of eternal peace. I cannot begin to describe. There is so much power, this change in the air. To be here surrounded by my comrades, student activists, and ordinary citizens, all men and women, patriots for a new China. I think this is what pursuit of happiness must be. Bibi, for the first time in my life, I believe I can be a somebody. I believe my contribution will make a difference. I believe that freedom will not grow out of theory, but out of ourselves. We are fighting for a system that will respect the individual. The individual is not dead. The government must listen to us. The government will listen to us. All we want is a dialogue, a conversation. We want an end to censorship, an end to corruption. We are the voices of tomorrow, and our voices will be heard. There is so much power to be here together, singing songs, holding hands, listening to the speeches of our student leaders.
I wrote this song 20 years ago, 1989, after Tiananmen Square. It's called Tiananmen Square. Did you hear the Chinese students singing, "We shall overcome"? Sounded sweet as it did then at the March on Washington. They quoted Gandhi and Dr. King. There was freedom in the air. They gave flowers to the soldiers in Tiananmen Square. My brothers and my sisters, don't give in to despair. Seeds you plant today may bloom in a field you know not where. Who'd have thought all those years ago, when we marched for freedom here, they'd be singing, "We shall overcome" in Tiananmen Square. Did you see the goddess of democracy trampled to the ground, and the People's Liberation Army shoot the people down? It made me think of Kent State and Jackson State and the students who died there. It's a long way from Ohio and Mississippi to Tiananmen Square. My brothers, they can clean the streets and wash the blood from the bullet-ridden walls, but alone against their sea of tanks, one unarmed man stood tall. And they can't erase that photograph, no matter how they dare. Say nothing ever happened in Tiananmen Square. Last time, my brothers and my sisters, don't give in to despair. Seeds you plant today may bloom in a field you know not where. Who'd have thought all those years ago, when we marched for freedom here, they'd be singing, "We shall overcome" in Tiananmen Square. Thank you very much.
And now Ann Lauer is going to conduct the commemoration. We do this every year?
Every year, for the last 20 years, we came together to remember. We remember those who died. We remember those who are still in prison. We remember those who are in exile. The blood of the martyrs of Tiananmen, their sacrifices, did they go in vain? Perhaps not. On the day of the Tiananmen massacre in China, June 4th, 1989, across the globe, in Poland, solidarity won all the seats except one. That was the beginning. In East Germany, the city of Leipzig protested every Monday until the dictators of East Germany succumbed. In Hungary, they reburied the heroes of the 1956 Hungarian Revolution, the Velvet Revolution of Czechoslovakia and Romania, completed the miracle year of 1989. Were it not for the sacrifices made by these students and the citizens of China, with the world condemnation, Gorbachev warned the Eastern communist countries that he would not send the tanks if the people demonstrated and wanted change. That was the beginning of the end of Eastern Europe. To these people in China, we want to thank them, and we know that perhaps in the future, they too will find their dream. For they have given themselves in that shining moment of spring 1989, a gift, a precious gift, a gift of freedom. Thank you.
I'm going to recite the song that I was privileged many years ago, thanks to my friend Dory Chan and Miss Ann Lau. God bless you. The song was called "The Comet's Cry," because I believe that when those students fell, the heavens heard their love and their dedication and their commitment, and it was felt. Last night, I heard the comet's cry as it streaked its way across a cold black sky, and a light went out in a young warrior's eye. That's what they were, you know. They were warriors of democracy. Maybe small in stature, but mighty in their essence and in their being. I heard it cry, "Before I go, I want the whole world to know that I was good and I was true. And I made love to you." Why? Because greater love hath no man than to lay down his life for his friends. And I gave my life for so many men to use. And I stood for the right, just like a beacon in the dead of night. The heavens cried, "No, blessed soul, you are heroes that can never die." And I still can feel you watching me from a window in the sky. And you lit the torch of liberty, and it's burning up on high. Is it really any wonder we can still hear the heavens cry? Last night, I heard the comets cry. as it streaked its way across a cold black sky. And a light went out in a young warrior's eye. Today, we still hear that comet cry. And God bless those who have given their lives for the freedom of us all. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Come on, put your hands together.
We wanted to thank Sylvia St. James.
Sylvia currently serves as National Director of Gospel Talent, lead vocalist, and Chief Mistress of Ceremonies for House of Blues Entertainment and her privately owned companies, St. James Gospel Music Services and St. James Entertainment. Sylvia has brought her talent and passion to the homeless and less fortunate. She wrote, House of Blues Gospel Brunch is blessed to be much more than just an entertaining experience. We desire to uplift, inspire, encourage, enlighten, and empower all of our guests. We proudly present a quality musical experience with integrity to the sacred message of the gospel and to the history of its musical messengers and pioneers. We are indeed blessed to be a blessing and to share a blessing with those who enjoy prosperity and those who may be less fortunate at a time.
Is Ting Wang, and he is not here today because he's ill, and so he sends all his blessings and thank you very much, and he is very proud to receive this award. And his place, James Parker, my son, will be accepting the award. He's a human rights activist who helped the students and people from China during the Tiananmen massacre, and he became a civil rights leader. And throughout the period, he assembled all the international groups together. He was one of the founders. I call him the founding father of the future because he saw ahead and he could see that all the groups could work together. The Hong Kong Forum was established in late 1989.
And incorporated as a non-profit organization with the California State and the IRS. Their missions include promoting human rights and democracy in Hong Kong, China, and the U.S. Since its inception, we are concerned of the HR condition in Hong Kong and China.
Turn around, get a picture.
Congratulations on behalf of the Visual Arts School. The third award I'm presenting is the Greater Los Angeles Federation of Democratic China. Please come up. Andrew Kwong, who was founded in 1987, the same year immediately after the occurrence of 1989 June 4th massacre. Andrew Kwong was the first elected chairman in charge of the LAFDC. For the past 20 years, the LAFDC has always been an informal, nonprofit organization with a goal to continue the ideology in the martyrs who fell in Tiananmen Square in 1989 in pursuit of achieving a democratic China.
Hi, my name is Joe Wong. I'm honored to receive this award on behalf of all the members who work so hard to achieve someday the democracy in China. And with your support, with our effort, I know that someday democracy will come to China. It's not just a promise. It will be history. Thank you.
Thank you very much. West American Association of Chinese Political Refugees. Please, somebody come up.
Hi, George Mo has been the president for many years at the West American Association of Chinese Political Refugees. It advocates democracy, freedom, human rights, and the rule of law. And for the last 20 years, this association has made consistent contribution to this goal by hosting and participating in many activities. I congratulate George Mo, and we have been friends for as long as we met in front of the Chinese consulate. Congratulations.
谢谢影视艺术家协会。
Thank you, Visual Arts Guild.
昨天我们是奴隶，
Yesterday we are slaves.
今天我们获得了自由。
Today we acquired freedom.
我们感谢美国和美国人民。
We express sincere gratitude to the American people.
我们像美国人民一样，要慷慨、正义和善良。
Like American people, we all want to become the same become one with same generosity, same compassion, and same justice.
我们反对一切暴政，永不屈服。
We never hesitated to succumb to in the fight against the autocracy of anywhere in the world.
谢谢。
Thank you.
In the show, I want to present this to Ann Lau and to the Visual Artists Guild. Is the County of Los Angeles, Tenement Square to the Berlin Wall, in honor of the memory of, signed by one of our supervisors, Zev Yaroslavsky. So it's a proclamation. Okay, very good. The next performer is world-renowned Kinga Top.
Katona vagyok én, ország őrizője. Sír az édesanyám, hogy elvisznek tőle. Sír az édesanyám, a rózsám meggyászol. Fekete gyászvirág búsul ablakában. Falu legényei, kenyeres folytások, az Isten áldása szálljon le reátok. Éljetek örömmel, de az én rózsámat el ne szeressétek. Megpendült harangom, pallérozott kardom, nem szabad én nékem az ágyban meghalnom. Áldozom éltemet az ország javára, forgatom fegyverem vitézek módjára. 1848-ban el kell menni háborúba, ha úgy vagyon cédulázva, hogy elveszek a csatába. Keljetek fel, Rákócziak, tűvalátok, magyar fiak, lássátok meg nagy romlását, magyar hazánk pusztulását. Szép meghalni a hazáért, virtus tenni a nemzetért. Most is halnak és születnek, nem lesz vége az életnek. Most is halnak és születnek, nem lesz vége az életnek.
Thank you, Kinga. I forgot to tell the audience, those were Hungarian ballads. Could you tell the audience a little bit what that song was about?
Yes, one of them was a folk song from the Bukovina region. It speaks about fighting for your country, having to leave your home, your mother, your sweetheart, and fighting for your country, and hoping that the comrades you left behind don't steal your sweetheart, and being proud of fighting for your country. The second one was a revolutionary song from 1848, which was also another famous freedom fight from Hungarian history when Hungary was trying to gain independence from the Habsburg Empire. So.
Thank you very much, Kinga. Okay, our next performer is Christine Lindhart, and she's going to be performing some songs from Cabaret.
Wunderschön ist's in Paris auf der Rue Madeleine. Schön ist es im Mai in Rom durch die Stadt zu gehen. Oder eine Sommernacht still beim Wein in Wien. Doch ich häng, wenn ihr auch lacht, heut noch an Berlin. Ich hab noch einen Koffer in Berlin, deswegen muss ich nächstens wieder hin. Die Seligkeiten vergangener Zeiten sind alle noch in meinem kleinen Koffer drin. Ich hab noch einen Koffer in Berlin, der bleibt auch dort und das hat seinen Sinn. Auf diese Weise lohnt sich die Reise, denn wenn ich Sehnsucht hab, dann fahr ich wieder hin. Falling in love again, never wanted to. What am I to do? Can't help it. Love's always been my game. Play it how I may. I was made that way. Can't help it. Men cluster to me like moths around a flame, and if their wings burn, I know I'm not to blame. Falling in love again, never wanted to. What am I to do? Can't help it. Ich bin von Kopf bis Fuß auf Liebe eingestellt und das ist meine Welt und sonst gar nichts. Ich bin von Kopf bis Fuß auf Liebe eingestellt und das ist meine Welt und sonst gar nichts. Männer umschweben mich wie Muten um das Licht und wenn sie verbrennen, ja, dafür
Thank you so much, Christina. Okay, Anne's going to come out to make our last presentation to one of our most notable recipients.
Fang Zhen was a student at Beijing Academy of Physical Science and an aspiring athlete. He became a student activist during Tiananmen protests and stayed at the square until the very last moment. As he and the last few thousands of survivors left the square, an army tank that was chasing the students crashed into the crowd. He saw the tank approach until he thought the barrel was right in his face. He was helping a female student into a side street when his legs went under the tanks, and he was dragged along behind the vehicle before hauling himself clear. Fang was rushed to a hospital by concerned citizens and students. He survived, after losing both of his legs. Fang has been sidelined, and the official version that he lost his legs was in a traffic accident. Last year, as the whole world celebrated Beijing Olympics, Fang was not even allowed to travel, even though he has won a lot of awards at the Special Olympics.
Come on. This is the champion of democracy.
好，谢谢大家。是，谢谢大家。
Thank you very much, everybody.
中国人为了争取民主，很多人付出了生命和鲜血的代价。
A lot of people have sacrificed their blood and life for the democracy in China.
但是他们知道自由的珍贵，
But they know the value of freedom.
所以他们依然在继续努力争取自由的这一天。
So they still try their best to fight for the freedom, the day of the freedom, even today.
感谢大家的支持，我相信他们会更有力量。
Thank you for everybody's support. I think they will have more strength and power.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.